Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Henry and welcome to another Flight Simulator 2020 aircraft review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Piper Cherokee that we have on here. We're going to take a look around. Again, another aircraft that I've flown in real life. We'll mix some real footage with the sim here. But yeah, we'll take a quick look at this. I flew around with this aircraft a bit just to play around, kind of compare it to the real plane. And yeah, let's just jump right in. Alright, let's jump into the sim. Before, however, we'll just take a quick look. There are a lot of different liveries included. We are going to be going with Charlie Fox here, the Canadian one. Let's get to it. Alright, now here we are in the aircraft, and if you have watched some of my videos before, you may kind of recognize this cockpit because it is pretty much similar to the Piper Seminole, because it's basically Seminole with a single engine. See, similar cowling, things like that. But yeah, so even just looking at it, again, very nice little rendered model here. We got all the antennas, we got all the lights, everything else pretty much good to go. And looking inside, we have a very nicely done cockpit here. We can hide the yokes for a second here just to take a little bit of a look at all the working buttons. And of course, the window works. I am always a sucker for those little details as well. Now, the cool thing about this model is that you notice that we kind of have like the old Garmin 100, which, yes, this is kind of how the good old GPSs used to work. So again, as soon as you turn it on, it shows the information. You notice that we have the old radio stack here, so you can play around with it. The cool thing is, with this aircraft, you can actually switch the options. So instead of like going with the old, radio stack, you can actually come over here, turn off tie downs, chocks, things like that, but you can also switch the GPS system. If you want a newer Garmin double stack here, so with the backup GPS, you can do that. Single with the radio stack, and back. So if you want, you can fly kind of like the old classic version, or you can even just, fly the more modern version, which is really nice. I really like that option that you can do. Again, everything else really works. So if we put up the throttle just a bit here, you will see, of course, RPM, just like any other aircraft in this sim, will go up. The oil temp and fuel pressure will eventually start to go up as well. Full fuel tanks, of course, that's all animated. And of course, our six-pack and our navigation instruments are all working as well. Of course, with all the other buttons and things like that. Now, coming over here, you got all your circuit breakers. And yes, the circuit breakers actually work. What the heck? That is something that you don't see a lot in these sim aircraft. So again, that's another little bit of detail. Now, two things to know. The Cherokee, of course, we do have flaps. We can do a flapless takeoff. We do have the wheel pants. I'm not sure if I can turn that off. 1 second here. So we do have full control. You can refill the oil, recharge the battery, things like that. You can add a friend if you want. You can look at your doors and stuff like that. You can unlock things. It's all good to go. The aircraft is very well made. Now, if we come over here, you can open things if you want. So the back door, as you saw there, everything was animated. Everything was done there. You have your tow bars, tie downs, chocks. You can if you want. That's all done as well. Boop, boop. And again, if you don't want to actually click the yokes, you can just hide them from here. Just like that. Alright, well, let's get in the air, and I'll just show you one or two things about this aircraft that are really good, and one of them that's kind of weird. Let's get going here. And a nice thing about the Cherokee, too, is that it does climb very well. And again, a nice little view from up here, nice reflections. Again, good bit mapping and everything else on the Cherokee here. If you go back in here, of course, again, we do have your little sun guards here you can use. And of course, you have your little temp gauge there too. Everything's looking mighty fine. Look at that. Alright, so let's show the one weird thing that I noticed with this aircraft. So we'll just get the airspeed down so I can actually show it here. Is that, let's reduce speed. Everything feels actually pretty good. The one thing that I'm kind of like sketchy about when it comes to this flight model is the roll axis. It shouldn't really be this And before anyone asks, yes, I know that's totally uncoordinated. I just want to show how easy it is to move. Because we'll fast forward here and we'll go on to final, and I'll just show you kind of like the issue that can really that can really happen from this axis being so sensitive in a sim like this, because it doesn't really feel like it's being affected by the air at all. So let's just slow down. Let's just go around like 70, 75 for now, as we start to get closer to stalling speed here. So again, more critical phase of flight. So let's just get down into base here. We'll make a short circuit so then we can show this off. And as we start coming around, turning in for our final, you'll notice something a little bit funny here. So as we're kind of a little bit high on final, around 70, 75 knots. There we go, nice and high, good. Alright, so watch what happens when I go for flaps and I start to do my descent here. Keep it around 70, 75. My yaw direction isn't really stable, and I don't really have any wind in there either. So you can kind of, let's see if I can kind of get a good demonstration of this. Oh wow, it's actually going to be kind of alright. You can see it kind of like going between left and right here on the yaw axis. That's not me, that's just the aircraft itself. That isn't really supposed to happen, so there's just an issue with the flight model. So yeah, I really don't really know what's going on there. Again, I just assume that it's something wrong with the flight model, that it's the dynamics not working properly. But yeah, the yaw and the roll axis feel a little bit off when you're close to stall speed, especially with takeoff and landing there. Again, absolutely no issues with the model. It looks great, it mostly flies great. But yeah, if you're a real Piper fan, if you love the Cherokee, then by all means, this might be a very enjoyable aircraft for you. We'll just see how on this second landing attempt, if that yaw and roll issue is still a problem. Because like again, I haven't changed anything between aircraft. This doesn't happen with any other plane. It's just that weird roll and yawing that you see backwards and forwards there. And again, I'm not doing anything when I fly the aircraft in real life. That's not a thing. So yeah, let's see if we can have a nice little play around here. Base turn, we can start to lose altitude here. Nice. Again, with the more popular areas, it's always nice with the photogrammetry being a little bit more accurate there. You can still use this to practice VFR, which is cool. Like again, like I know a Bash Flight Sim a lot, but it is a great VFR simulator. As we get on to final here. And again, like the aerodynamics seems fine for now. It's basically just when it gets a little bit closer to final here that things start to go a little bit haywire. Let's get that full flap in. Yeah, so as soon as I turn the engine off, I don't know if it's like a weird propeller effect. A little bit of adverse yaw. It just seems really pronounced in this model. I don't know, because like again, I'm not touching the rudders at all right now, and it should be fairly stable. As we get a little bit closer to stall speed there, yeah, okay. I don't know. that's just my only gripe with this aircraft, is that the yaw and the roll axis seem a little bit unstable here. That's fine. Because as soon as I'm starting to get a little bit closer to the flare here, you can see me struggling a lot with the ailerons and everything else, eh? So yeah, it's a bit of a weird. It shouldn't really be like that. All right. Well, here, let's just take a quick look here. Outside. Could listen to the good sound effects of kind of a skid. Actually, I wonder if we can really skid here. Yeah, that's realistic there. You know what? I'm really happy to see that because both the sound effects as well as the depression on the nose wheel shows. Okay, at least that's animated nicely. You know, you also have all the other bits of the nose wheel animated. That's really nice, and you do still have kind of that extra realistic. So yeah, if you love the Cherokee and if it's something you want to kind of practice for real life, then by all means, like it's a nice. Ooh, red light works too. It's a really nice little aircraft. Again, that's my only issue is that the axes seem a little bit off when you're coming in for final. But again, overall, not bad. If it's your thing, awesome. If not, then hey, what can I say, right? So overall, I'm actually really impressed with this aircraft. Again, just a little bit of tweaking on the yaw and the roll axis, and that's about it. So yeah, what do you guys think? Have you ever flown in a Cherokee in the sim or real life? Let us know in the comments below. Fly safe, and as always, happy landings!